Hello everyone and welcome to BlenderWorks. This is the fourth tutorial series episode in which I'm going to show you how to add textures to your model. So let's get started. So this is our default cube. I'm going to delete these and add in a UV sphere and increase the ring to 32 and shade it smooth. Also, I will enable the auto smooth over here. And now I will go to front view and click on Ctrl Alt 0 for the camera angle. Zoom out a bit. So this is the sphere where we will work on our textures. I will save this file really quick. So somewhere over here. And now to add a texture, I will go to shading tab over here, and this is our node editor. I will expand this, and in here I will go to camera view by clicking on 0, and in here this is our rendered view, so I'll click on that, and I will adjust the lighting. So in layout I will change the lighting and somewhere over here and increase the radius to maybe 2. And change the render engine to cycles. So in shading tab now I will click on this, and as you can see we have no materials over here. So to add a new material there are two ways. You can click over here in material properties and click on new, or you can click on new over here like this. And once you click on new, the principal BSDF and material output will be added, and whatever properties we have over here in principal BSDF, the same property will be shown over here. So this is the property we were working on the past two tutorials. So actually this was coming from here, this principal BSDF. So now if I'm going to suppose say change the color, so as you can see this will change the color, but I want to add a texture to it, brick texture. So what I'll do, I'll click on add over here, or you can click on shift A and go to texture and add an image texture, place it over here. And now when you connect this color to this base color, so the base color will become this image texture, which is pink by default in Blender. So to add an image, click on open, and I will add in this castle brick image. Click on open image. So as you can see, our sphere is now filled with bricks, but our bricks is looking very expanded and stretched. We want it to look more realistic. So for that, UV editing comes into picture. So if I click on UV editing, it's just over here. As you can see, we have our whole sphere unwrapped into a square, just like this. And if I go to material preview over here and something like this, so as you can see, if I change or move or scale the vertices over here, this will also change, something like this. So I want my bricks not to be stretched this much. So what I'll do is I will scale this on X axis. So for that I will click on S and then X. So I will stretch it somewhere over here. So this looks nice. And if you want, you can increase and decrease the size of bricks by scaling it, something like this, but I'm happy with this. So I'll save it and I will switch back to shading tab. So as you can see, our bricks look more realistic now, but still few things are missing. Like we don't have that roughness of the sphere, and the sphere is very plain, but our bricks in real life aren't that plain. We have the bumps in each brick. So what I'll do is I'll click on here and now add in the roughness. So I'll move this over here and I will duplicate this image texture or add in a new one like this, and click on here and select this castle rough brick, open image, and rough image is a non-color image, so I will select from sRGB to non-color and I will connect this color to roughness. So as you can see, we have now the roughness of the sphere. We don't have to edit the roughness in UV sphere because Blender automatically takes the UV data of this image into here. And now let's add the bump in the bricks. So I will select this and duplicate it again. And in here, I will select this normal image and click on here. And select this color and connect it to normal. So as you can see, we have this weird black lines. That's because we haven't added the normal map. So in Shift A, go to vector and select normal map and place it over here. It will automatically add. So this normal map is necessary whenever you add a bump or normal image into your model. So now when we go to our layout, we can see we have a nice looking bricks with the bumps and the roughness as well. To see just the normal effect or the roughness, I will disconnect this base. And now as you can see in layout, we have the roughness and the bump of our bricks just like this. And if I connect again the color to base color, so this will look like this. So this is basically how you add a texture into your model. And if you don't want to go through all of this, you can just delete it and click on Principled BSDF and select Ctrl Shift T and navigate to your materials. Select all the materials, diffuse, normal and rough, and click on Principled Texture Setup. So this will automatically add in the texture and it will save a lot of time. I will later discuss about the texture coordinate and mapping. For now, I will just delete this. And this is how our model looks like, which is pretty good. So let's mix two textures now. I want to add in some plaster over my bricks. So let's see how to do that. So I'll delete this, and for example, I want to add in two colors. So for that, I will go to color and mix RGB and connect this color to base color. So as you will see, nothing will happen because the color 1 and 2 both are of same color. So I'll change the color 1 to green and I will change the color 2 to red. But as you can see, this both colors are mixed up and this is showing kind of yellowish color. And if you change the factorial over here, if you change this to 1, so color 2 will have 100% effect on the model. And if you change this to 0, color 1 will have the complete effect on our sphere. So I don't want these colors to be mixed. I want them to see separately. So for that, what I'll do is I'll click on Shift A, go to textures and add in a noise texture and connect this factorial to here. So as you can see, we have now something red and green as well, but the red is not visible very much. So to control the value of the color 1 and color 2, I will add in a color ramp, which is in converter over here. So what this will do is this will control the volume of our color 1 and color 2. And if you suppose move this like this, so as you can see, this is controlling the color 2, that is red, like this, and this will control the green color, something like this. So you can play with the settings and see whatever you need. And now if I add in two different textures over here, this will reflect it on our sphere. So let's see that. So for that I will add in image texture like this and connect this color to color 1 and click on open and select the first texture as this castle brick, just like this. So as you can see, we have the castle brick now. And similarly in color 2 I want to select my uh, plaster. So for that I will duplicate this over here and select the rough plaster diffuse and connect this color to color 2. So as you can see, we have both bricks and the plaster, and we can control this value from the color ramp. So I will set this value to somewhere over here maybe. So as you can see, we have now plaster and bricks over each other, and the plaster is looking very good on the bricks. So similarly, I will repeat this process for the roughness and normal as well. So as you can see, we have the plaster and the bricks perfectly aligned with each other. And to see the effect, I'll just disconnect the base node, and in layout, we can see the effect. So as you can see, the plaster has the plaster roughness and normal, and the bricks have its roughness and its normals. So this worked out perfectly well. And now for example, I want to add in a border in my sphere. So let's do that. So I'll go to shading and connect this back. I will duplicate this image and add in a sandstone border. I will duplicate this mix RGB over here and connect the color to color 2, something like this. And this factorial will be uh, controlled by this alpha. So I will select this like this. So as you can see, we have the border in between our sphere. Now for example, I want to increase the size of my border. So in UV editing, I can do that, but it will also affect the plaster and the bricks. For example, if I go to UV editing and scale this, so the with the border, bricks and plaster are also affecting. I don't want that. So I want to control this border separately. So I will go to object properties and go to UV map and select a new UV map and rename this to, for example, border. And in shading tab, I will move this over here and add in a UV map just over here, and I will connect this UV to the vector of the transparent sandstone, and in here I will select the border, save the file. And now what will happen is, if I go to UV editing, material preview, and make sure you are in UV map border, click over here, and now if you scale this, so as you can see, only the border is now affecting. So this is a really cool technique which is very handy. And now I want to make the border uh, somewhere over here in between, and I want that to cover one layer of the brick. So something like this looks good. So this looks good. And now in shading tab, I will move this over here, and I'll add in the normal for the sandstone border. So for that, I'll select this and put it over here. I will duplicate this, Shift D, and select the transparent normal over here, and duplicate this mix RGB, and connect this color to here and set this to non-color over here. But as you can see, this didn't work out. That's because we haven't put the UV map vector over here. So I will put the vector over here, and you can still see the normals are collapsing with each other. So for that, I will add in a mask texture. Just go to the texture and add in an image texture, open it, and select this transparent mask, open the image, and connect this UV to the vector like this, and connect this color to the factorial of this RGB. So I will connect it to here, and if you want to see the uh, effect, disconnect the base node. I'm sorry, just flip this. Yeah. So as you can see, the brick, the plaster, and the sandstone border are working perfectly fine with each other in the sphere. The brick has the textures over here. It's not affecting the border and the plaster. So this is really a fine looking geometry. And I will connect back the base color. And as you can see, we have a bit complicated node tree over here. So you can simplify this very easily. First of all, group the similar nodes. For example, I am selecting this nodes, this 4 nodes, because these are for base color, and I will click on Control G. So what this will do is it will group the nodes that you have selected, and if you click on tab or click over here, this will be converted into a single node group, just like this. You can rename this node group as well, and if you want to see that group again, you just click over here and you can see the group over here. And if you want to ungroup this thing, you can click on Control Alt and G. This will ungroup the nodes. Similarly, I will select these 3 nodes and click on Control G, press tab, and this all works for normal. So I'll press Control G and press on tab. So as you can see, we have a really simple looking tree node right here. And this is basically how you play with the settings for the textures in Blender. Now in our next session, we will learn about the light settings and how to set up a scene. I will discuss about the different types of light, the scene settings, and how to speed up your render, especially if you are in cycles. And I hope you learned something in this tutorial. I will see you in the next session. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get a notification about it. And thank you for all the support.